It's 2 a.m. The kitchen light is still on. There's a cold cup of coffee on the counter, third one today, and you're running on maybe 4 hours of sleep, and this quiet, stubborn conviction that if you just push a little harder, you'll make it through. Your inbox is a disaster. Your back aches. Someone offered to help you last week and you said, "I'm fine. I've got it," before the sentence was even finished. You didn't even think about it. The words just came out. And now here you are, alone, in a lit kitchen, at 2 inches the morning, carrying everything, telling yourself, this is what strength looks like. What if it isn't? What if strength isn't how much you carry, but how long you've been carrying it alone? Psychologists have a name for what you're doing. It's not burnout. It's not anxiety. It's something quieter and more specific than either of those. They call it self-reliance rigidity, and from the outside, it looks exactly like competence. It looks like discipline. It looks like someone who has their life together. There's a question buried at the end of this. You'll know it when you get there. The reason this starts in childhood isn't what you think. It's not about bad parenting. It's about something that happened before you had words for it. In the 1960s, a researcher named John Bowlby was watching children who had been separated from their parents during the Blitz. Some cried, some clung, but some, and this is the part that matters, went quiet, stopped asking. One researcher's note from 1941 described a boy who, by his 5th day in the shelter, had stopped reaching his arms up when adults walked past. He still watched them. He just stopped reaching. They became, in the clinical language, avoidantly attached. They learned, very early, that reaching out and getting nothing back was worse than not reaching out at all. So, they stopped. That boy grew up. And there's a version of him in a lot of us. And in stopping, they discovered something that felt, at the time, like power. I can do this myself. Bowlby called it a survival strategy. And it was. For a child in an unpredictable world, self-reliance is brilliance. It's the smartest possible adaptation. But here's what nobody tells you about survival strategies. They don't know when the war is over. Picture a child who figured out, through small and repeated experiments, that asking for help made things worse. Maybe it looked like this. They fall off their bike, come inside, and start to cry, and their father, without looking up, says, "You're okay." They weren't okay. But they learned something faster than language. Certain feelings belong outside. So the child stopped asking. And that truth calcified into a rule. The rule calcified into a personality. And the personality walked into adulthood wearing the word independent like a badge. Here's what happened on the inside. The brain encoded a simple equation. Needing others equals danger. Not danger in the abstract, danger in the body. A tightening in the chest, a flash of shame, an impulse to withdraw. Someone offers to help you carry something and your nervous system registers it, faintly, as a threat, before your mind has even formed a thought. You say, "I'm fine," the way you'd flinch from a flame. The map was written for a world that no longer exists, but your nervous system is still reading it, every day, at 2 a.m. in the kitchen, alone. You became the person people rely on, the one who doesn't drop things, the one who shows up. They gave you more at work because you handled it without complaint. In relationships, you became the rock. And here's the thing nobody tells you. That's real strength. It was. Once. But capability became your entire identity, so asking for help doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It feels like annihilation. Like if you need something, you stop being you. So you don't ask, and your body, which has been keeping score this whole time, starts sending signals. Chronic tension in the shoulders, a kind of flatness, where emotion used to be. The feeling of moving through wet concrete. That's not weakness. That's a system running without maintenance until the parts start to fail. Here's the part that changes how you see your whole family, not just yourself. Think about the quietest person in your family, the one who never complained, who worked until their hands hurt and called it normal, who you never once saw cry. You admired them. Maybe you still do. What you didn't see, what nobody saw, was the cost. You felt that, didn't you? Some face just came to mind. They raised someone, and that someone raised you. You didn't inherit the trauma. You inherited the coping strategy. The wound travels. It doesn't announce itself as a wound. It announces itself as a value. We don't complain. We handle our own. We don't put ourselves on other people. And now you, at 2 a.m., carrying all of them. Here's what I want you to sit with. The moment you decided you didn't need anyone, that wasn't weakness. That was a child doing the only thing they could think of to stay safe. They protected themselves the only way they knew how. That child should be honored, not pathologized. The problem isn't who you became. The problem is that the strategy didn't come with an expiration date. Under all of it, the competence, the cold coffee, the 2 a.m. kitchens, there's one question. You've never said it out loud. You might not even know you've been asking it. If I let go, will I disappear? You won't. Strength was never about doing it alone. It was about surviving until you didn't have to. You don't have to anymore. Come back to that kitchen one more time. Same light, same hour, same cold coffee. I said there was a question buried in this. Here it is. And I want you to notice what happens in your body when you hear it. Who in your life would actually show up for you if you asked? You thought of someone just now. I know you did. That's your homework. Not a mindset shift. Not a journal prompt. Just one text. This week. To that person. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to have a breakdown first. 3 words is enough. Could use help. And before you close this tab, when was the last time you actually needed help and said nothing? Not because no one was there, because you couldn't make yourself ask. Last week? Last month? Is it right now? Drop it below. Not for me, for the person scrolling at 2 a.m. who needs to know they're not the only one standing alone in the kitchen. If this found you at the right moment, subscribe. You belong here.